Thank you very much. How's everyone doing? Good. I'm appreciative for this award, and I'm appreciative of the work of the Morris Young Legacy House. Sorry, I'm a little bit winded. But I'm grateful for the opportunity and grateful to be with each of you today, and I'm looking forward to sharing with you. Britt, thank you for the invitation, and again, for the Morris Young Legacy House. Thank you for all the work that you do. When we launched the Whole Brother mission focusing on mental health of Black men, one of the things that came up, that comes up always in fundraising, depending on who you're asking to support your work, well, why do you want to focus on that community? Why just them? Can you broaden it out? Can you make it more appealing to a larger audience? And we do what we do for a reason, and oftentimes it's because of specific communities being underserved. So I understand the vision and I support your work. And again, thank you for all you've done today and beyond. I want to share something with you briefly, just to take home with you, something to ponder on for us to consider as it relates to how all of us can take part in this. I think with all these awards going out and with all this specializations that each of these people that have been highlighted have, and we look at the Morris Young Legacy House and the Whole Brother Mission and any other organization you may be aware of, it may be a bit intimidating, and it may make you think, well, I may not be like them, or I may not have an organization, or I may not have done this or that. But my hope today with this address is to show you how each of us in this room can take part in this work of supporting our community. Could we put my little shape on the screen, please? Hopefully technology is on our side today. But I'm going to just share with you briefly the communication pyramid and show you how we all can take part in this work. And if I need to, I'll put it up on my phone, but just let me know. But the communication pyramid, when you do see it, it's a resource from my first book, which was called Whole Brother: Debunking the Myths That Break the Black Family. And that book was a collaboration between myself and several Black male therapists. And the book looked at how Black men in particular perceive masculinity and how those things play a part in how our families develop, how they strengthen them, and how they sometimes break them as well. So we first deal with family dynamics, and then the latter part of the book deals with different myths related to masculinity that sometimes hinders our ability to reach out for something like mental health or emotional support. But one of the things that most people have latched onto from that book is this communication pyramid. And my hope today is to show you again how all of you can be the blueprint, be the spirit, be the ones to make a difference in your community, because no one can be you but you. Yeah. So you have the relationships and the connection and the experience to be of support to someone, not needing an award, not needing an organization, but just by being yourself. So the communication pyramid is exhibiting to us the depths of communication. So at the top of the pyramid, we have 5, which is cliches, non-sharing. So for those of you that are church people, what this looks like is if you're at church on Sunday morning and you ask someone how they're doing and they say, "I'm blessed and highly favored," right? It's a phrase that goes around that you might say without even thinking too deep about it. Cliches. And it's not saying that they're not sincere, but we just kind of say them haphazardly. We don't put much thought into it. And for some of us, a lot of our communication stays at these cliches. And when someone asks us how we're doing, they're not really getting much from us when we just throw out the cliches. When we go down one level to level 4, we're looking at facts. This is sharing what you know. Sheer information, nothing personal. You can go to Google, find a fact, and share it. Not that much personal there. This was included in the book because it was highlighting the fact that oftentimes in communication amongst men with each other, we hang out at levels 5 and 4. There are some men who have friendships for 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years, and the communication still stays up here at levels 5 and 4. And that prevents opportunities to talk about some of the personal things we shared that the people on stage have shared today. Going down further, we have level 3, which is opinions, sharing what you think. So this is a little bit deeper than the facts because now you're getting at something personal, not just what I pulled off of Google, but it's what came out of my mind. And when we look at these levels of communication, you will see toward the end of this talk that the relationships that are needed to fully support people like My Legacy House is doing and what therapy does and these additional support services, we're going to see that sustaining relationships like that requires level 1 communication, which may be a bit uncomfortable for some of us, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So level 3 is the opinions. Level 2 is emotion, sharing how you feel. So it's not just this is what I think about it, but this is how I feel about it. Levels 2 and level 1 have a level of vulnerability. And for many people, especially men that have been taught to take care of all of it yourself, vulnerability or transparency might be considered dangerous or uncharted territory. Lastly, down at level 1, we have transparency, fully sharing who you are. This is where you're able to see the signs that someone may be struggling with their mental health. This is where you're able to see that someone may be considering self-harm. And if we don't allow the space for people to share with us at this level, we might not be able to be the hero that they need. And in the same way, it's not just about getting in people's business and trying to know all of who they are, but we can also lead with transparency as well, even in moments where it's uncomfortable. So the goal here is to set a tone of normalizing conversations where we're able to share all of who we are rather than presenting the highlight reel version. Because that doesn't serve anybody, right? Coming off as if I have it all together does not promote a culture of mental health and mutual support. So it's not just for the men, but it's for the women as well. I want to challenge everyone. You can have the impact of My Legacy House, a Whole Brother Mission, or any nonprofit that's serving our community by being intentional with your conversation. You can give people space for them to be transparent about whatever it may be without judgment, but you can also lead with that. So take a moment to consider the relationships that you have, the sphere of influence you have, whether it be family or friends, and what space can you begin to facilitate transparency? Because when we normalize this with you, then it spreads, and then it spreads, and then we'll look up and we won't have to use a communication pyramid because everybody's being open and honest about what's really going on rather than presenting their representative. So I'll leave you with this. Before joining the Whole Brother Mission, as mentioned, I worked in university life. And this one's for the men. I had to serve as a dean because our main dean resigned. So I had to take care of the discipline. So when college students get in trouble, they had to come to my office. One of them in particular, this is a predominantly white institution. One of them in particular was a black male football player. He got in trouble, but I knew that there was more to why he got in trouble. So we're sitting in the office and I'm talking to him about what's going on, and he's not wanting to share that much. But through patience and leading with transparency, I was made aware of what was going on at home. And what was going on at home contributed to why he got in trouble at school. But something I noticed, which struck me, and which kind of points back to this communication pyramid, is that he's on this football team, supposedly a band of brothers, and at the time he was struggling with suicidal ideation. So he texted one of his teammates about the thoughts that he was having, and about his plan to follow through. And his teammate texted back, "I'm out with my girl right now. We'll talk about it later." Now, relationships are important, of course, but I do think it points again to this reality of how, whether it's your blood brother, the guy you've known for 20 years, we haven't created space for transparency. So I want to challenge you to make sure you're not being that person that's preoccupied with what's most important to you, and create a space for someone else, because that could be the thing that saves their life. Thank you.